नमः। सर्वप्रथम स्मृति गुरुपाद पद्मनिला पृष्ठ जगत गुरु श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज जी के अभय चरणारविंदों में अनंत कोटि दंड प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। तंत्रोपासित दंडीपाद सन्यासी श्री श्रीमद भक्तिवेदांत दंडी महाराज जी, नामनिष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्धास प्रभु जी, समस्त वैष्णव के चरणों में मेरा यथार्थ दंड प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ और उनकी मैं अहित की कृपा की प्रार्थना करता हूँ। आज बहुत सौभाग्य की बात है कि हम माधुर्य कादम्बिनी नंबर 172, if you go by serially then 122, this page number, we are beginning class. So Madhurya Kadambini is not an ordinary book. Madhurya Kadambini is the great book written by Shri Vishwanath Thakur. Today is also some tithi of our great Acharya Shri Gadadhar, Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami also. So we offer respects at his lotus feet, obeisances at the lotus feet of Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who manifested the great deity of Shri Radharaman. Now we are discussing the kleshas. The kleshas, they're actually Maharshi Patanjali has written in the third aphorism of the Sadhana Pad of his book Yoga Darshan, Avidya Asmita Raga Klesha Viniveshaha Panchaklesha. Ignorance, avidya, false ego, asmita, attachment to material enjoyment, raga, attachment to material enjoyment is called raga, aversion to suffering, dvesha, and material absorption, abhinivesha, are 5 different types of klesha or misery. So there are 5 different types of kleshas. Kleshas also come in a lot of variety. So being situated in the heart, they cause one to engage in either action, karma or inaction. As a result, one attains one's destiny, the fruits of piety or impiety, which are happiness or distress, respectively. So you see that the Goswamis, they actually took the working for Krishna consciousness. Tattvatu Purnam Shesha Mandalapati Shrenim Sadatu Chavat Utva Dina Ganesha Karunaya Kopina Kanthashito Gopi Bhava Rasamrita Lari Allola Moho Unde Rupa Sana Raghuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalako. So these 6 Goswamis, they were very rich, but abandoned all that opulence for the sake of Lord Sri Krishna, and they engaged in immaculate bhajan of Sri Krishna. So it externally may seem the devotee is not doing anything, but he is doing Manasi Seva. He is going to Radha Kund and serving the divine couple under the guidance of Lalita Sakhi, Manjari, Tambularpana Pada Mardana Payodana Visara Vrindaranya Maheshwari Priyatayam Yastu Shantipya Prana Prishta Sakhi Gulada Asankochita Bhumika Keli Bhumi Shiva Manjari Sita Samshre. So they are doing so much seva. So it may appear that devotees are engaged in inaction, but actually they are engaged in Krishna karma. They are not doing akarma, vikarma, but kamya karma. No, they are engaged in Krishna karma. So here we see that as a result attains one's destiny, fruits piety or impiety, which is happiness or distress respectively. You see that people, they have done some past pious activity. A lot of time a question comes, you go on preaching, and they say, devotee ask me this question, that why so many miseries are coming in my life, although I am living as a devotee, I am following all regulatory principles, but I am very miserable. While on the other hand, the person who opposite across the street who is living up in my house, he is not following any rules, even taking grains on Ekadashi. He's eating meat, fish, eggs, and wine and everything. But he seems to be so happy. And he is having more and more wealth. And he has many grandchildren. He is that beautiful wife, gold jewelry, all these things he is having. And why am I suffering? Why am I suffering like this? Is it something wrong that I have done, that I have chosen the path of devotional service? I should not have chosen the devotional service. Why am I suffering? Why that non-devotee enjoying so much? The clear and plain answer is, it is the past karma. Understand? You are getting rid of your karma, and he is enjoying his past deeds. So at one point of time, Vibhishan's life appeared miserable. His condition was like tongue living between 32 teeth. He was surrounded on all sides by the demons who were against Lord Ram, and his brother was very strong. Ravan was very strong. Vibhishan was not as strong, and he was really in a miserable condition. But then, what was the end result? Ravan lost his life. Ravan lost his kingdom. Ravan, all his sons and grandsons were killed. Understand? Hundreds and thousands of his sons and grandsons were killed. And finally, his wife, also Mandodari, when Ravan died, she apparently after some time, she was in lamentation, distress. But when she came out of distress, she married Vibhishan. Understand? So finally, you see, Vibhishan got everything, and Ravan lost everything. Because Ravan refused to surrender to Ram, and Vibhishan completely surrendered to Ram. Not only Ram, he surrendered to first Hanuman. And by the mercy of Hanuman, he got the mercy of Ram. So don't worry. It is only a matter of time that all the miseries will be over once and for all. Krishna assured this in Bhagavad-Gita. So for devotees, they don't have to worry about their destiny or karma or past action. Nothing. They should happily perform devotional service and not worry about the results. And if happiness and distress come anyways, what devotees would do? The devotees would actually not worry about the happiness and distress. They will treat them as equal. Like someone will criticize you, and someone might even glorify you, but shall you worry about it? Oh, you should not worry about it. Actually, you should. If you want to, Bhagwan Saraswati Paz says, if you want to live in Vrindavan, then you should think, if anyone is vilifying me, criticizing me, then that criticism is sweeter than the nectar, sweeter than the song of a nightingale or a cuckoo bird. Oh, it's music. Let me eat where is the foodstuffs which is completely stale. Let me eat old chapatis, stale chapatis. But let me not go out of this city of Vrindavan. Let me not take a step out of the boundary of Vrindavan. Bhandira Govardha Rasa Pitai Trisima ki Yojana Panchakena Mite Vibhutvat Amite Pijasmin Mastu Vrindavane Vasa. This Vrindavan which is surrounded by Bhandirvan, Govardhan, Rasa Pit, where Rasila took place. Let me stay in this Vrindavan. Uh, I want to stay in this Vrindavan or Shri Navadvip Dham. Let me do bhajan in Vrindavan. But when he came to Tarakeshwar temple in Kolkata, near Kolkata, and there Lord Shiva told him, Thakur Bhaktivinoda, if you go to Vrindavan, who will reveal the glories of Navadvip Dham? Please don't go to Vrindavan. Please stay in Navadvip Dham and you reveal its glories. So you see that, but what Bhaktivinoda Thakur did? He manifested this wonderful Dham, this wonderful Dham. And you see that Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata himself, when Bhakti Thakur thought that my son, he is not interested in working for any university or anything, so he set him up a homeopathy shop, medicine shop. But that also was a failure. So finally, Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata completely surrendered to Bhakti Babaji Maharaj and Bhakti Thakur and started doing bhajan. So if Krishna wants that you do bhajan, then he will arrange that your material endeavors will fail. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Maharaj also, all his material endeavors failed. He tried to create Prayag Pharmacy in Prayag, Allahabad, even Indira Gandhi in frock, she used to attend his she used to come to his shop to purchase because Jawaharlal Nehru, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was very much interested Indian indigenous medicines. So only Prayag pharmacy of Srila Avechar Arvinda Prabhu, Avechar Day was known as, to provide indigenous medicine made in India, not the imported from England. Therefore, even in he used to send Indira Gandhi, go to the Avechar and Prabhu's shop and get this medicine. She used to cut in a frock and she used to purchase medicines from Avechar and Arvinda Prabhu. But see what happened, his business was a failure. Finally, his relatives also, when you have no money, generally relatives abandon you. And then they phone you. And that is what happened to Bhakti-Vidanta Sai Maharaj. Then he came to Vrindavan and Madhurya and he started selling the medicines for young work. Until a Guru told souls, you have come here as the representative of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. You have to fulfill the mission of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. And Maharaj, this society now has so many branches all over the world. So you see that devotees, their favorable condition was not favorable for Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. For Gurudev also, condition was not so favorable. His health was a little weak. He always used to exhibit the pastime of being sick. He underwent operation also, heart surgery and other things. But Srila Gurudev never got overwhelmed by the difficulties. He always stepped on the head of the difficulties and he did bhajan. Like Sripad Dandi Maharaj also I see. Many times I think that Dandi Maharaj's condition is so many difficulties I see. And he has so many challenges. From morning till night, Dandi Maharaj is always dealing with challenges. Challenge from all the sides. Because to run Kali Yuga, run a farm community of devotees, householder devotees with cows, children, all aspects, legal aspects, all aspects, also the development aspects, financial aspects, all these, so many issues are there to run a community like that. But he never get overwhelmed. But he always tries to deal with them on one-on-one basis, and he's always on top of all the problems. And that's what community is going on strongly for last more 17 years. Actually, really, you see that devotees should be like that. Like Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Yeshava Sai Maharaj, Srila Gurudev and Srila Dandi Maharaj. These devotees should be take example from their life. Any problem may come, we should not become morose. We should not become hopeless. Oh, I will not chant anymore. I will do this. Our mind is very tricky. One time, one devotee told in Houston to Gurudev that my mind is giving you a lot of problems. Give me a permission to stop chanting. Give me permission away from everything. And Srila Gurudev said, this is Maya. You want to stay away from the devotees? You don't want to chant the holy name? You don't want to read my books? And you say that this is some holiday or something? No. If your mind tells you, don't chant, you must chant. Mind tells don't read books, read books. Mind tells don't go to temple, you go to temple. If mind tells you don't associate with others, immediately run to the service. Do everything opposite to the mind. Mind is a big cheater. We should try to beat up our mind with a shoe in the morning and a broomstick in the evening. It means the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the morning and Bhagavatam in the evening. Don't listen to your mind. So the first klesha is avidya, a state of consciousness in which one mistakes temporal objects as eternal, mistakes that which is impure as pure. This is the problem with the world. The people are accumulating so much wealth and they think that this wealth will make us happy. And there is no limit how much wealth they have. And you see, their life is so miserable. Understand? Those who are at the top, their life is so miserable. Take example of say Amazon, Bezos. He underwent a divorce. So much money he had to give as alimony to his wife. Understand? Headache. Is he happy? Is he happy? So many I have seen. So many examples I have seen in the Western world. John F. Kennedy. He was so successful. He was so handsome. Princess Diana, Bill Clinton. They were the top leaders in political, economic, and so many things in royalty, but they were not happy. They were not happy. Understand? So, there's one company called Bata. Bata, they said that Bata has been having so many showrooms, you cannot imagine how many showrooms are there. It's a British company, I think. So, they said that the Bata showroom never closes. Means, if the American showroom is closed, then another showroom will open in India. Because if there a day in America, then it's a night in India. A night in India, then day in America. But still, company founder of Bata committed suicide.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, we can't hear you. Ananga Mohan Prabhu, can you hear Maharaj?
No.
Can hear.
Okay, he left. I think there's a problem with his network. We'll just wait for him to come back.
Oh, he left? Oh, he joined.
Sorry, Maharaj, you're on mute.
No problem. So, Avidya, avidya is a state of consciousness in which one mistakes temporary objects as eternal, mistakes that which is pure as pure. And I was actually, this is avidya. I was saying actually that how people are drinking Pepsi, which is bottled drink. I used to work for Pepsi Cola company, or they drink Coca-Cola, bottled water. Stored for so many days on the shelf, so many bacteria must have grown in it. It is stored in a plastic bottle, and so much actually. They say that why people are bald, why the hair don't grow, because the microplastic which is going in our body. Everything is in plastic. India now finally banned the single-use plastic. Understand? So everything that is impure, people see as very pure. People will not purchase coconut water, or they will not purchase lemonade, fresh made lemonade, but they will purchase something which is stored on the shelf with so many additives. They will take that. Not go for farmer and purchase the fresh vegetables, but they will take the bottled vegetables, or the something that is vacuum stored in vacuum like this. Understand? So happiness, unhappiness as happiness. This is actually an example of Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj gives the life of he is the sex life. He used to be very bluntly talking about this. He used to say that what is sex life? One drop of semen, it takes 40 drops of blood to make. 40 drops of blood will make a drop of semen. People are losing semen, losing their vital strength, and with that, their health is going away. And he said, and on top of that, the woman 9 months suffering, so much pain, so much agony. Understand? Anyways, a life cycle has to go on. But anyways, we think that unhappiness is happiness. Like he used to give an example of a camel. The camel is eating the thorny bush, and due to the thorny bush, the camel's tongue is bleeding, and he's drinking that blood, and he's thinking it is very nice salty taste that is coming. Understand? So unhappiness we regard as happiness, and identify the self with matter. People identify with the matter, like Rolls Royce. Oh, he has a Rolls Royce. People are not respect him. They respect him for his Rolls Royce. His Rolex watch. They don't respect the person. They respect his Rolex watch. So people are identifying the self with the matter. This is all avidya. Avidya is what when one considers impermanent things such as one's body, property and possessions, spouse, children, pleasure and wealth as permanent. When one considers the impure physical body comprised of blood, flesh, fat, bones, stool and urine, pure or impure. So this is the problem with Harishchandra. Harishchandra had a false pride. This Shakya is this son with and Vishwamitra came to him in a dream and asked him the charity. He gave all his wealth to charity in charity to Vishwamitra. The kingdom also offered him charity to Vishwamitra. When Vishwamitra came in the morning, do you remember yesterday's dream? You have offered the entire kingdom to me. So please give that kingdom to me, and also you have to give me 10,000 gold coins as Dakshina. Then Harishchandra, he had to sell himself for 5,000 gold coins, and he had to sell his wife and child for 5,000 gold coins. So finally, after big test, Harishchandra realized, I am not his body. This family doesn't belong to me. This wife, this children don't belong to me. This bank balance is not mine. So this is the thing. These impermanent things, we think that they are permanent. People are actually enjoying the young age. They are going to the place like Goa or Italy or I think that we can continue enjoying like this. We'll have so much fun. We'll be on the beach. We'll enjoy like this. But that happiness is very. One day old age will catch with them. Old age actually very very painful, very very painful, and everywhere the body is hurting. You can barely walk. You can barely hear. Understand? So don't think that your spouse is permanent. One day you will have to be separated from your wife or husband. Children also one day have to be separated from them. Pleasure and wealth also is not permanent. Pleasure also doesn't last forever. Understand? Like in Maharashtra, there was one government, the government of Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray. They were very happy 2.5 years ago in Maharashtra. But then what happened? All of a sudden that one was overturned and then now they are unhappy lot. Understand? So government is also not permanent. So when one considers impure physical body comprised of blood, flesh, fat, bones, stool and urine to be pure or enjoyable, and understand. So basically, have to be very, very clear that this body is impure. His body is made of urine, stool, blood, flesh, unchangeable substances. So Srila Gurudev says that this beauty is skin deep. If you look a little bit deeper, you'll see that so much bad things are in us, and we think that this body will give us happiness. Never and never. And one thing is that trivial mundane pleasure constitute happiness. For example, there is some happiness in scratching. Let's suppose I have an itch. I had also on my some itching was there. But doctor told me don't scratch there. If you scratch, there will be severe bleeding may happen. You may have varicose veins or something like this. Don't scratch there. But I was getting some happiness by scratching there. If I keep on scratching, then bleeding will happen. So basically, if there is an itch on your skin, you try to scratch it. Then what will happen? It will cause problem. Understand? So best thing is to try to control tolerate the itching sensation. Same with the genitals. Genitals also some itching may be there. But Gurudev says, so Sai Maharaj says, try to tolerate that. Try to tolerate. Dhira. Try to be dhira. Swamis were dear to dhira and adhira, the restless and the patient ones. But if you try to be dhira, you should be patient. One who can tolerate the urge, tongue, belly, genitals, he is really Goswami. Understand? Just by giving title Goswami, no one can be Goswami. So dhira, dhira jana priya kare karo. Nirvatsara pujito. So we should tolerate the urges of the senses. Understand? Those who tolerate the urges of the senses like the tongue, belly, genitals, they are really guru. In other words, it is Vidya to think that pleasure derived from mundane sense objects, which is suffering, is actual happiness. Really, it is actually suffering only, but it appears like happiness. Understand? So basically, in the material world, everything is actually suffering, but it is actually happiness. I give an example that Maharaj, you please come to our home. And then they give us like so many parathas. Maharaj also, like me, I like the parathas, I eat many parathas. But then some acidity may come, some stomach upset may come. Understand? Suppose I like ghee very much and I have to drink so much ghee, then what will happen? So much diarrhea will be there, loose motion will be there. I will be unable to digest that digestion. My tongue, so happiness came, but result was only suffering because my stomach was upset, I had diarrhea, loose motion, and I was suffering all the time. Understand? So it means that happiness is actually distress. So for example, getting married, then this, oh, I'm getting married, please come for our marriage. Maharaj blessed us and my wife. So we think that I'll be very happy by being married. I got a very beautiful husband, a very handsome husband, a very beautiful wife. But then for some days it goes very fine. Wife and husband are very happy, but then the needs come. So many needs are there. You need a cooler, air conditioner, refrigerator, admissions of the school to children, and leaves, and building your own house, then a new car, this, that, and in India, actually, if you don't have a car, it's okay because there is some public transport available. But in America, I realized that without a car, you are nobody. Car is more essential there than anything there. You see. So then you have installments, EMI, this, that. Whole life becomes so miserable. We got married so that you can be happy. But what happened? You have to work so hard, morning till night. Just for maintaining a family. So I'm not criticizing the householders. No. Actually, householders are also very good devotees. But Srila Gurudev warned us. He said that think before you jump. Understand? He said, if many times many devotees used to come to Gurudev. Gurudev, I want to get married. I really like that girl. Shall I? Then Gurudev used to say that you are coming to me with a very difficult question. That Gurudev, I want to drink poison, please permit me to drink poison. And Gurudev said, I will never permit you to drink poison. I will never give permission to get married. But if you want to drink poison on your own, you are free to do so. But I am not letting you do that. You are used to get married, understand? Especially brahmacharis used to tell them, oh, don't even think of it. You are now very happy, you are taking prasad morning and evening, chant Hare Krishna mantra, stay in saffron cloth, do some bhajan. And Mataji also used to tell them that if possible, try to stay celibate. Don't worry about it. You have been there, done that so many lifetimes, and you have done marriage and this and that. He used to tell this to some of his brahmacharis were there, and he used to cultivate them, and he just dissuaded them from getting married. Understand? Not that he was against marriage institution. He was not against Grihastha ashram. But he saw that with the depleting resources, with lack of jobs, after Corona, hardly any jobs are there. and prices are soaring. So in that condition, the celibacy and practicing bhakti is easier because then you have less responsibility. Otherwise, with responsibilities, you cannot find much time to do bhajan. So for aim and object, we don't discriminate among grihasthas and sannyasis. We don't say sannyasis are higher, grihasthas are lower. No. Sometimes it may happen that grihastha is so much more advanced than sannyasi. It may happen. No. Yes, it's possible. Some grihasthas really good at all. They're more advanced than sannyasis. We only respect not based on ashram but also on bhakti. Understand? So if some grihastha is doing more harina and is doing much nirjala ekadashi, so he may be a good devotee, really a good devotee. He may be more advanced, no harm. Understand? The point of ease, so Gurudev used to tell that avoid these unnecessary entanglements. If possible, we should try to avoid as many entanglements as possible. In other words, it is avidya to think that pleasure derived from mundane objects is uninterrupted suffering, actual happiness. And to identify the physical body, its relations and intimate possessions as oneself. Asmita, to wrongly assume the cognitive power of perception, Darshan Shakti, is completely identical with the inherent power to see, Druk Shakti, is an example of Asmita. In other words, Asmita is the egotism or delusion thinking in terms of I and me. Understand? So here, Asmita, what does it mean? We have Darshan Shakti, the cognitive power of visual perception. But we think that it is identical with the inherent power to see through Shakti. Understand? So basically, we are not the seer. Understand? Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Saraswati Prabhupada used to very clearly tell that you are not the seer. We don't go to the temple that we will see the deity. Understand? We have no eyes to see the deities. Only way you can see the deities by your ears. That's why try to hear Harikatha, that you have darshan of Bhagavan. Understand? So don't go to the temple, for Mangalarti you go, but don't try to see God. Try to act in such a way that God will want to see you. We go to the Mangalarti or to the temple so that Krishna will see us. We have no eyes to see him, although he is present in the deity form, but we don't think that the deity is Krishna. We are so involved that we really cannot see Krishna in the deity. Because we have an offense, condemned by the offense. Artha Vishnu Shila, they think that the deity is made of stone. Shunaramati, they think that Guru is an ordinary human being. Vaishnava Jati Buddhir. This Vaishnava is belong to some particular caste. This Vaishnava is Nayar, this Vaishnava is Kama, this Vaishnava is Kappa, this Vaishnava is Reddy, this Vaishnava is Nambiar, this Vaishnava is Gupta, this Vaishnava is Agarwal, this Vaishnava is Brahman, this is Shudra. This is not the thing. The Vaishnavas do not belong to any caste and creed. Once you become a Vaishnava, it is like gold, 24 karat gold. So if you have a 24 karat gold, you don't ask whether you got this gold from South African mines or you got this gold from the chemical process, alchemical process, which the bell mixed with the mercury and through alchemical process the gold was formed, or it may have come by touching the iron by a touchstone or philosopher's stone. It may be that. But once gold is there, it is 24 karat gold. Nothing. So it is. So Vaishnava is also like that. You cannot say that this mine gold. Gold is gold. Understand? So like that, Vaishnava is very pure. You should not try to see. And many times our eyes are also having problems. We don't see the power of Charanamrita. Many times devotees don't see. Oh, this prasadam is not good. This temple prasadam is not good. Today, not enough. Salt was less. Not enough chili. Oh, I think the sweet rice we have enough Shri. With this type of attitude we honor prasadam. Atyas duty is prasadam properly. Prasadat anand jananat darshanat paratatvat samar pradanat prasada. So prasad is actually the mercy of Sri Krishna. We should not try to see any problem with that. Like one Maharaj there, Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Saraswati Rupa disciple, he was offered so many preparations on a plate. But what he did, he mixed everything and ate it. So they asked him that, Maharaj, why you mixed everything? First you have to take some bitter preparation, then you have to take some dal and rice. After that you have to take sweet or sweet rice, paramanna like this. There is a sequence how you eat. And also chapati and rice, dal, everything you have mixed and you have taken the wonderful nectar of Sri Krishna's lips, which is present in all these preparations. So in this way, Maharaj, he answered like this. So we are not the seer. Don't mistake that the Darshan Shakti and Drup Shakti is the same. Vaishnava Vaishnavanam Kalimalam Thane Path Tirthe Amba Buddhi. If you take Chaturth every day, go to the temple, then Kali you cannot achieve. And to identify the sound of Hare Krishna mantra to be an ordinary sound vibration. Like there is actually some groups are there. They are also engaged in chanting. I went to Aurangabad and I saw some people. They were chanting some Buddhist chant. They were chanting some Buddhist chant. Hours and hours, many ladies had gathered, and for hours and hours they were chanting this Buddhist chant. There are different religions. There are different chantings there. But it cannot be equated with the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So because this Hare Krishna mantra is not Shabda Brahma, it is not Shabda Samanya, it is Shabda Brahma. Understand? So Shabda Brahma can liberate you. Anavritti to Shabdat, Anavritti to Shabdat. Understand? So when we are doing bhajan, we should know that Hare Krishna mantra is not ordinary sound vibration. And Vishnu cannot be equated with other demigods. You cannot say that, oh, the other demigods are also equal to Vishnu. Not possible. Vishnu is just superior than other demigods and demigoddesses. No one is equal to Vishnu. Vishnu is asamata tattva. Vishnu is superior than all the goddesses and goddesses combined. So here, this asmita means to wrongly assume that the cognitive power of visual perception, darshan shakti, is completely identical with the inherent power to see, druk shakti. This is an example of asmita. In other words, asmita is the egoism or delusion of thinking in terms of I and mine. Nothing belongs to me and nothing is mine. I am also this one, my body is also not mine. I cannot even take one grey hair with me, one white hair with me. One king actually was ruling. He was a very prosperous king and he had a very beautiful queen also. But Sadhu wanted to meet him, but no one would let Sadhu meet the king. So Sadhu met his wife and told the wife that your husband, the king, is going to die in 15 days. So king inquired from the Sadhu that I am going to die in 15 days, but what will happen to me after death? Then Sadhu said, will go to heaven. He said, everything is all right in heaven. He said, yes, everything is all right in heaven. Only one problem is there. There are too many mosquitoes in heaven and they will not let you sleep. So he said, the king asked, there is no mosquito net in the heaven. He said, yes, mosquito net is there, one corner is torn. So you have to mend or stitch that corner. So to mend the corner, you take one needle and one thread with you. One needle and some thread you take to when you die. So when you die, you carry it with you, and then you can use that needle and thread to mend the mosquito which will be provided to you in heaven. The king said, I cannot take my grey hair, my black hair or anything, how can I take any needle and thread with me? Then king realized that all this wealth I have accumulated, this will stay here. I cannot take even one thread with me. I cannot even take one hair with me. Oh, forget it. This is not mine. Everything is Krishna's. Isha Bhasyam Idam Sarvam. So raga, the desire or attachment to the means by which procures pleasure or removes distress is called raga. In other words, yearning for more even after obtaining one's desired object is called raga. Now, an example, you see that Mr. Adani, Mr. Gautam Adani, or Mukesh Ambani, Jeff Bezos, or Bill Gates, also so many people, so many big rich businessmen are there in India, Mafatma and all. They are super rich, like Ratan Tata, very rich. They are excellent businessmen. But they never say Azim Premji or anyone that they are billionaire society. Billionaire society. They are members of billionaire society. Billionaires, actually, literally billionaires. But they actually have so much wealth that we cannot dream. Wildest imagination to have so much wealth. We cannot imagine also how much wealth they have. But they still hankering for more. Means they have reached that goal, economic prosperity, that their seven generations can simply sit and eat. No shortage of food, even if no one works in family. But still they are not satisfied. This is called raga, attachment. So much attachment for the money. They are chasing money. I will open more showrooms. I will sell more mobile phones and more groceries. I want more petrochemical sports. I will deal with more petrochemicals and refineries. I will somehow or other try to make more money. But you ask them that what about time is gone in this management? Will that time come again? Will you become young again? Because this is my 50th marriage anniversary. This is my 50th, my 75th birthday. Actually, what is there to celebrate in the marriage anniversary? I don't understand. That 50th marriage anniversary means you wasted your 50 years together in mundane pursuit. Is there something to be celebrated? Understand? That we fooled around 50 years and now we didn't do any bhajan. Understand? What is there to celebrate? Understand? This is one type of distress, right? Raga, attachment. People are so attached. Understand? So, aversion. Aversion, dvesha means aversion or hatred for the cause of distress is called dvesha. People actually, no one wants to be unhappy. For example, people hate to join Krishna consciousness movement many times. Why? Oh, as soon as you join the temple, you'll have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Actually, people are awake almost all the time. But they don't know that the best bhajan is on time. Then there's no dissonance. The whole world is sleeping, are about to wake up. That time you are doing japa. Mind will be so fresh. That is the time. Whatever you're doing, Brahma Muhurta is best. Early to bed, early to rise keeps you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is the old adage, old proverb is there. Understand? The people, they don't have attraction for the Krishna consciousness movement. Oh, prasadam, no onion, no garlic, no meat, no fishes, no, what is this? They don't like it. Understand? So they have hatred for this. Understand? They hate this movement sometimes. Why? Because they don't know that this, actually one doctor also told me that if you are taking a red meat, the kidney will go. The kidney will be spoiled if you take red meat. It's so dangerous. So much cholesterol is there in these animal products. So we should abandon these animal products. Abhinivesha, to be strongly attached to one's body due to basis for attaining worldly pleasure. And to be terrified of death is called abhinivesha. So, no one wants to die. People are terrified of death. Understand? They are terrified of death. They don't want to die. somehow till last moment he will try to take this treatment or that treatment, this specialist, that specialist. Actually, once the Bhartaj was in the hospital and the doctor was not releasing him. And Srila Bharati Maharaj was enacting the pastime of being sick. And Srila Bharati Maharaj, he said, no, I don't want to live here in hospital. Everywhere I see the Yamadutas are waiting to take away the dead persons. Everywhere he could see, we could not see the Yamadutas, but Srila Bharati Maharaj was able to see. He said, everywhere the Yamadutas are sitting in the hospital. When possible will die, we'll take him to hell. Understand? And he said, but doctor was not releasing him. Doctor said, no, he must be serious, he must be in the hospital. Then Bharati Maharaj told that go and tell the doctor that our money is over. We have no more money to pay you. And then the Bharati Maharaj servants, they went to the doctor and told that money is finished. We have no money. If you want to keep Maharaj, but you have to give free treatment. Doctor immediately wrote a discharge slip. He said, no, Maharaj can go home now. So that trick worked. Finally, when the money was over, doctor immediately let him go. But it was not that money was over, but Maharaj didn't want to spend even a moment there in the hospital because it is a devotional environment. He said, I want to go to another expert doctor. Means he wanted to come to the mud where his Gurudev and Sri Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu and Radha Krishna will treat him. They are the better doctors, understand? So Maharaj someone came and after some time he went back to spiritual world. Understand? So basically they are not attached to the body. Maharaj was not afraid of death. He was not terrified of death. But rather he happily left the world in a loving atmosphere of devotees. Srila Gurudev was enacting the pastime of being sick. So many devotees gave so many treatments. Then finally Gurudev told, I want to Jagannath Puri. And Jagannath Puri is the place of Vipralamba where Mahaprabhu experienced separation from Krishna. So that is Vipralamba Kshetra, the mood of separation. And Srila Gurudev, he is right next to the Samadhi of Srila Bhakti-Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, he also Samadhi. So in Jagannath Puri, there is Samadhi of Srila Bhakti-Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Puri Maharaj. Also, Srila Gurudev also left the world in Kratirtha Matha. See, right next to the ocean, absorbed in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's separation from Krishna. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feels separation, he jump in the ocean. Sometimes he used to think that I am Radharani who is going to worship Jamuna, or I am Radharani who is going to worship the sun god. Then he used to jump in the ocean and floating he used to go to the Konark temple, the sun temple is there. He always was in the mood of Radharani who was experiencing Madhanakya Mahabharata. So they are not afraid. The pure devotees, Gurudev, Srila Bharati Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Musanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, they are actually, they know, they are eternal. Understand? Srila Gurudev also, one devotee, Mahananda Prabhu, he was in Pakistan. He asked Gurudev, hey, would you come to Pakistan? And Gurudev said, yes, I am not afraid. I will come there. I am not this body. Why should I be afraid of Pakistan? I am not afraid. Gurudev told like driving of me. Gurudev never about his safety. He always jumped with Hanuman from this continent, that continent, and this country to that country. So many people opposed him. So many people banned him. So many people forbade him from coming to saying that this is our own temple. Actually, mentality is also implicit also. People build a temple, they have a community, and they say that this is my community and this is my temple, it belongs to me. Actually, people, Guru should also not say that the disciples belong to him. Because you should think that Guru should say that these disciples belong to Krishna. They are Krishna's part and parcel. Your job is to get them as a Guru. But you cannot. He kept on doing bhajan. So 4 stages of sin. Now we are discussing the papa. So The papa is actually prarabdha, aprarabdha, rudha, bija, papadaya, stan, maya, e. Next, there are 4 stages of sin that are also integral to klesha. Understand? So, sin and klesha, lamentation go hand in hand. Prarabdha papa, sins in stage, meaning that the result of past sins has begun to manifest in the living entities presently and is being enjoyed by him. Understand? For example, I used to go to parikrama and then I used to become very sick in parikrama. The karma. Understand? It was a part of the karma. Every time I used to go to parikrama, then people are coming from so many countries, and then we never wear mask. Only person I has been wearing mask was the Gurudev. Because Gurudev has much fear of the infection with his advanced age. So Gurudev always wear a mask, especially when he's after the class meeting the devotees. Understand? So there are so many types of prarabdha karma. Understand? Like the other day I met a doctor and then he told that suppose you urinate anywhere, like you do public urinal, then public urinal there is always a problem that the insects will come from the urinal and they will enter your urinary tract and cause infection. They come faster than electricity, they told. As soon as you start to urinate in the public urinal, they'll start rising up through urine and enter into your urinary tract. So Gurudev also had that fear of urinary tract infection. Other bodies understand. So you see that this is what is prarabdha karma. All this corona, these are nothing. No virus and bacteria, and everyone is talking about bacteria, virus, and so many theories are being given. So I am not challenging the scientific research. I am not challenging the government policy. But let me tell you humbly that this corona or anything is just prarabdha karma. It is the fructifying stage of the sins. We have committed some sins, so we got corona or something. Understand? So these sins you have to suffer in life is called prarabdha karma. The prarabdha papa, sins that will take time to fructify. Means the sins are there. Like for example, you may have so many seeds. Those are in the farm business or agricultural business. You know that seeds are there at home. You have not planted. The seeds which you have planted in the rainy season, they are fructifying. That is prarabdha karma. But some seeds you kept in storage, you didn't plant them. That is aprarabdha karma. The sins that will take time to fructify. Since you'll have to fructify in future lifetimes, ruda or kuta. Sins that are about to become seeds, having remained in the subtle body of the jiva in the form of impressions of past actions. These will become seeds. So the seeds remain in the subtle body in the sukshma deha. Mind, intelligence, consciousness, that will eventually lead to the fructifying stage. So, furthermore, there are 4 types of sins, papa, which are also considered sources of misery, creation. So, but don't worry about sin, because Krishna's own name is Agadamana. Agadamana Yeshua Nandano Nandasu Kamalnayana Gopi Chandra Vrindavendra Krishna Krishna with Aneka Swarupe Tairatima Uchir Vardana. Agadamana means Ahalya. Ahalya, she was a very pretty woman. Brahma was his daughter, not Brahma's daughter. And Indra actually wanted to enjoy with her. And in the disguise of Gautam, she came to enjoy with her. Then, apparently, she actually enjoyed with Indra. And one Maharaj actually told that, I have not read that episode of Ramayana, but that Maharaj told that she knew that this is Indra, this is not my husband. So Indra wanted to enjoy with her, and she also thought that such a great person like Indra wants to enjoy with me. let me see what is it like to be with Indra. She also had that curiosity. So when Indra wanted to enjoy with her, she said, I'm very afraid of my husband. Somehow make arrangement that he is not angry with me. So Indra disguised as Gautam Rishi, and he came to the abode of Ahalya. When Gautam Rishi had gone to take bath in Ganga, he enjoyed with Ahalya. So Ahalya knew that this is not the husband to Indra, but knowing apparently she committed injury. Uh, Gautam Rishi came in stepping on the rose in his own that. Gautam Rishi realized this is not some, and he cursed him. May you become devoid of test. You become no testicle. Cursed, so he cursed that will become. Please forgive me. Then he said, when in Treta Yuga Ramchandra will come, he will touch you by his feet and he will deliver you. So when Vishwamitra told Ramchandra that when Ramchandra went to the ashram, there near Gurudev's birthplace, Buxar, Arigoli, even today that place is there. Then when they went to that Siddhashram, Siddhashram means where sadhus were doing bhajan. And then Ramchandra said that this is a very big ashram, but no one is living here. Why so silent here? Then Vishwamitra, before even answering first, said, just simply touch your lotus feet to this rock, piece of rock. And Ramchandra touched the lotus feet to the rock, and the rock became a very beautiful woman. That was Ahalya. So Ahalya, apparently, she was cursed by her husband. I don't know whether she was at fault or not, but Maharaj was telling that she was at fault. Anyways, we can discuss it from Ramayana, read Ramayana about it. But anyway, but it is a fact that she was cursed by her husband to become a piece of rock. But Ramchandra, he simply forgave Ahalya and delivered her, and she again became a woman, and then she united with her husband again. How merciful is Bhagavan? So, Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Maharaj says that Bhagavan is antiseptic and prophylactic. So, when you chant the name of Krishna or Vishnu, what will happen? Your sins will vanish. Vishnu Nagapumsa Shamala Parha Unna Padaycha Brahmadi Sthana Bhogat Virati Mata Shri Guru Pada Dvan Bhakti Tattva Jnanam J Vishnuriyam Vratijanna Bhranti Visincha Tadva Sampurnananda Bodhi Mahja Purusha Sthatavitma Vrittam. When you chant the name of Sri Vishnu, all sins will vanish. Yasya Srana Matrena Janma Samsara Bandhana Vimuchyate Namastasai Vishnave Prabha Vishnu. When you chant the name of Krishna or Vishnu, Narayan, all sins will go away. There is no fear of Yamadutas if you are chanting the name of Krishna. Ka Paita Nagari Purandara Ka Bhaktatiya Kindara Krishna Nama Jadeka Mangam Kantapitam Urani Karunichi. Chanting Krishna, Krishna, no fear of Yamaduta, no fear of Yamaduta or anything. What will happen to me? Will I be tortured there? Don't worry about it. So Bhagavan's names are destroying all types of sin. Prarabdham, aprarabdham, utab jodonmukham, Vishnu Bhakti Ratmanam. If you do the worship of Bhakti of Sri Krishna, Vishnu, no more sins. All sins are gone. We are stopping at this last paragraph of page number 133. We'll discuss the sins next time. Understand? And the 4 stages of sin, the 3B chapter will decide. We are stopping at page number 173 and in the PDF. And please try to read it, and I will also try to explain this. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity for discussing kadambini. This is very, very important, and Gurudev, Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Maharaj, Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata, they all used to like this book. From this wonderful book. I really appreciate your presence online. This class was live on the Google Meet. It is also live on Facebook Live simultaneously. devotees are giving me an opportunity to study and speak of this wonderful book. I'm also so much benefiting by your association. If you have any comments or questions, please ask this question. This is the right time. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Franz. Thank you so much for giving us your time always and giving us these classes. And it's so late, but you still come. So thank you so much to you. So there's no questions or comments. We'll move over to Jai Diwani Ananga Mohan Prabhu. Please, can you go? Thank you, Hare Krishna. Dada.
Shishi Guru Gauranga Gadar.
Thank you.
Shishi Guru Gauranga Gadaripa Giridhari Radha Vinod Biharaji ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Om Vishnu Parastotra Shashimad Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Om Vishnu Parastotra Shashimad Bhakti-Vidanta Dandi Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Om Vishnu Parastotra Shashimad Bhakti-Vidanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Om Vishnu Parastotra Shashimad Bhakti-Vidanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Pravishta Om Vishnu Parastotra Shri Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Parastotra Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnu Parastotra Shri Sri Bhakti Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishta Parama Bhagavad Prabhara Shri Sri Gauri Kisodas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Thakur ki Jai. Nitya Leela Pravishta Never Sarva Bhoma Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Gaudya Danta Achara Shri Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushan Prabhu ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki Jai. Srila Navatam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Traya ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhat Raghudas Jiva Gopala Bhat Das Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Dhamodar Raya Ramanandar Gaura Prasad Vinde ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Vikas Thakur ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सती गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. शांतद्वीप मायापुर सीमद्वीप गोद्रम द्वीप मध्याद्वीप कोलाद्वीप ऋतुद्वीप जानुद्वीप मोद्रा द्वीप रुद्र द्वीपत्मका श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपा गोपी गोवर्धन द्वादश वनात्मका शिवज मंदिर की जय. श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गंगा यमुना काशी भक्ति देवी की जय. श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय. श्री पौर्णमासी योग माया की जय. श्री गोपी शिवार महादेव की जय. श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र सुदर्शन चक्रदेव की जय. श्री श्वेतमंगल की जय. सर्व विघ्न विनाशकारी श्री नरसिंहदेव की जय. भक्त प्रभार श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय. चार धाम की जय. चार संप्रदाय की जय. चार छान की जय. अकर मत राशि चैतन्य मत की जय. शिशि केतुविधि गौद्य मत ओत सका मत समूह की जय. ग्रंथ राशि मत भागवतम की जय. श्री मधुर कदम्बिनी की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. सामगात भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री निताई गौर प्रेम हरि बोल.
हरे
Gurudev. Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
की जय.
Maharaj.
Actually,
Uh,
I would like to speak for some time about Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Goswami, and I think it is appropriate because devotees from China also requesting to speak about Bhakti-Vidanta Goswami. Yes, so it is very important because appearance day of Vaishnavas, we should try to glorify them, and disappearance also we should try to glorify them. As such, there is no difference between the appearance and the disappearance, because just like the sun rises on the eastern horizon and sets on the western horizon, the sun has no death. So similarly, Vaishnavas also have no death. They simply appear in this world, they perform the mission of preaching the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Vani, Lord Vani, and then they leave this world. And then they go back to from where they came from. So Srila Gurudev in 1996 signified Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So here, first let us glorify Gopal Bhatta Goswami. During Chaturmasya Vrata, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to South India to the Rangaji temple. Now the Rangaji temple is one of the biggest temples in South India. It's constructed by the devotees of Ramanuja Sampradaya or Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, very ancient temple. When Mahaprabhu in Chaturmasya, sannyasis don't travel much. They stay in one place and do bhajan because it is raining everywhere and Chaturmasya is meant to bhajan. So eating frugally once a day, sleeping on the ground, chanting Harinam, and all these things are in Chaturmasya. So Mahaprabhu, he stayed in Srirangam. He began to dance and perform kirtan there, and all were attracted. So basically, Mahaprabhu is always Krishna, 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 Krishna Nama Kirtanam, Rama Rama Gana Ramya, Divya Chanda Nartanam, Yatra Yatra Krishna Nama, Dana Loka Nistaram, Prema Dhameva, Naumi Gaura Sundaram. Then Mahaprabhu likes to dance and sing. In ecstasy, absorbed in the mood of Radharani, Mahabharata, he is always in kirtan. So everyone was attracted to Mahaprabhu's deep ecstasy. And the members of a very holy family met him there. And they requested him, please stay at our residence for these 4 months of Chaturmasya, and after that, you can go anywhere else. So this was the family of Venkat Bhatta. Venkat Bhatta, Trimal Bhatta and Prabhananda Sati, they were 3 brothers. And they had, Venkat Bhatta had a son by the name Gopal Bhatta. So this holy family of the Brahmanas, who actually the Brahmanas from Sri Ranganath Kshetra, Sri Vaishnavas, they requested Mahaprabhu to stay at their home. And we had a good opportunity of seeing that home. Even today, that wonderful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still there, where Mahaprabhu resided in Chaturmasya there. And there is a small deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra also there in their temple, also there of Jagannath temple in Srirangam. It is on the outskirts of the Srirangam temple. I think outside the periphery. There are several walls actually in Srirangam surrounding the city. Whether the city is inside the temple or temple inside the city is difficult to tell. The whole temple premises is like a big town, a big city. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the invitation and they stayed for 4 months in the separate room they had arranged for him on the bank of the Kaveri river. This Kaveri river is actually Dakshina Ganga. As good as Ganga, or Ganga's only one type of Ganga only. So the head of the family was Trimalla Bhatta, and he had 2 younger brothers named Prabhananda Saraswati and Venkat Bhatta. So Trimalla Bhatta was the elder brother, and then he had younger brothers, Prabhananda Saraswati and Venkat Bhatta, who was father of Gopal Bhatta. The 3 brothers had taken initiation in the line of Sri Ramanuja in Sri Sampradaya. And they were known throughout South India to be very learned persons. So you see that they had taken initiation in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. So basically in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, the aim and object is the lotus feet of Narayan, Bhakti of Narayan. They are talking about Vaidhi Bhakti, full of mood of awe and reverence and going to the mood of Narayan. But Chaitanya Prabhu performed kirtan at the home of Venkat Bhatta and also spoke Harikatha to the family members. And in 1 month, they were all totally changed. So that is the power of the Harikatha, understand. This Harikatha is very, very pure and it can purify the heart. Tatreva Ganga Yamuna cha tatra, Godavari tatra Saraswati cha, Sarvan Kirtan Vasant tatra, Yatra Chitudar Katha Prasanga. Where Harikatha is going on, all the holy waters converge there, all the holy tirthas manifest there. Aho, aho, virna kaler viduyate, Sudha, Sudha, Madhuram Pade Pade, Dine dine chandana chandra shitalam yasho yashodatanayasya giyate. This is the most important thing. That when we are wonderfully hearing Harikatha, then Kali Yuga will not cause obstacle in your life. Understand? Kali Yuga's faults will not touch you. You'll see that here, at first they were worshippers of Lakshmi and Narayan, but by the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they became Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is the power of Mahaprabhu. He actually converted them from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti. How he and his family became Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This boy Gopal Bhatta served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in many ways during Mahaprabhu's visit. So you'll see that Mahaprabhu, he asked Venkat that why Lakshmi could not enter into Rasa Leela. Why Lakshmi could not enter into Rasa Leela? Lakshmi is the consort of Narayan, so why she was not allowed in Rasa Leela? And Venkat Bhatta could answer. And Mahaprabhu told one verse, Kasyanubhasana deva vidmahe tavangra renu svarshadikara yadvanchaya shilana jattapu vihaya kama suchiram Kasyanubhavasana deva vidmahe tavangra renu svarshadikara. The wives of Kaliya prayed to Krishna that this particular serpent, our husband, this Kaliya snake, so sinful, he gave so much hard time to the Brajavasis. He got the foot dust of you. What austerity he performed. But why Lakshmi Devi could not get lotus feet of Krishna? Why she could not get entrance into Rasa Leela? Understand? This question Mahaprabhu asked to Venkat Bhatta, but he could not answer. Understand? So Mahaprabhu explained so many tattvas to him that you must do under gopis and Radharani especially. So this boy, Bhakta served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in many ways during Mahaprabhu's visit. When Mahaprabhu would go to take bath at the sacred river Godavari, Kaveri, Gopal Bhatta used to go with him, holding his cloth, door and kopin. So Gopal Bhatta used to accompany Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu was taking bath in Kaveri, he used to hold his cloth. His door means like one tray which is wrapped around the waist. Kopin means like women underwear, understand? So sannyasis wear this kopina. And Gopal will take his wet clothes to clean and dry. Any other services. He served day and night, and Mahaprabhu became so pleased with him. Day and night he was serving. So Krishna Bhakti Mula hai sadhu sangha. Satam prasanga namavirya samvido bhavanti rutkarna rasaya kata tarjoshnad asvapavarga vartmani raddharatir bhaktyanukramish. If you associate with sadhus, if you hear their Harikatha, if you serve them, then Shraddha Bhakti, Bhav Bhakti, Prem Bhakti, all Bhakti will manifest in your heart. So Gopal Bhatta was not only an excellent servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he was also a vastly learned person. Because he had been taught by his uncle, Prabhupada Saraswati, who was one of the greatest learned persons of his time. Prabhupada Saraswati knew all the Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, and he had written many books. Moreover, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had made him a great Rasika Vaishnava, a self-realized soul, and test of transcendental levels. And thus he was able to write books like Shri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, a brilliant jewel book. And this book actually is the highest in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. Srila Gurudev loved, and all the Rasik Vaishnavas love this book, Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. Unfortunately, I don't know many verses of this book, but I think Yasha Vivasanunchita Khelunatha Dhanyati Dhanya Pavanena Tarthamani Yogindra Durgamatir Madhusudano Pitasyamos Vrishabhanu Bodhishiti. I think verses from Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi. But so many Srila Gurudev explaining this verse about how even Brahma, Rudra, Shukra, all these are aspiring to interest of Radharani. So Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi is about the glorification of Radharani. So Prabhupada Saraswati Prabhupada, a big scholar, he taught his nephew, his brother's son, very nicely. On his journey in South India, Mahaprabhu discovered both Krishna Karanamrita and Brahma Samhita. Now Brahma Samhita only 5th chapter is available. Actually in the maybe heavenly planets or in Brahma's planet 100 chapters may be available. But on the earth planet only one chapter is available. And Krishna Karanamrita is a wonderful jewel from Srila Bilmangal Thakur. But then there was a third book which became so prominent that our disciplic acharyas have regularly referred to its Sanskrit verses. Krishna Karnamrita is somewhat inclined towards Krishna, and it shows that Krishna is the supreme God. But Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi is more rasika with relation to the mellows of Madhurya, transcendental as love, wherein Prabhupada Saraswati prays to Radhika as the master of Krishna. Understand? So basically, we are Radha Paksha. Radha Paksha chhadi je jana se jana je bhave se bhave khati ami to Radhika pakshapati sada kabhu nahi heri take. Means we are always partial to Radharani. Although the devotees like Rupa Goswami and all, they have love for Krishna and Radha, but their love is always tilting towards Radharani. Understand? Like Krishna is always having flute, and when you see Krishna, he is always standing with his head tilted towards the feet of Radharani. And the peacock feather on his head is also tilting towards the feet of Radharani. See, Krishna himself is bowing down to Radharani. What to speak of us? He is also lowering his head towards Radharani. Understand? So we cannot, Jayadeva Goswami cannot write that Krishna is telling Radharani, please place your feet on my head. But Krishna himself came and wrote it. Smargarla Kandam, Mamashira Mandalam, Dehi Padapallava Mudaram, Jarati Maidaru, Mudana Kadunanu, Harutu Pahidu, Vikar, like this. Understand? So, but Radha Sudhanidhi, the exalted book of Prabhupada Saraswati, here he has very clearly explained that Radharani is the master of Krishna. Understand? So here, always wants to serve Srimati Radharani. And Prabhupada Saraswati also prays to be her Dasi. This is the highest topic of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Rupa Goswami, Raghunatha Goswami, Srila Gopal Bhatt took his view, Radha Dasi and nothing else. And they want that Krishna should serve Srimati Radhika. So basically, devotees, they don't want to see anyone, anytime Radha and Krishna separated from each other. But they certainly want that Radha and Krishna should always be together. But they want to serve especially Radharani. Their love is always more towards Radharani. And this is the sentiment of Prabhupada Saraswati Pada and all of our acharyas like Gopal Bhatt Goswami. We see in Rasalila in Vrindavan that the gopis are all weeping, rolling on the earth, always searching for Krishna. Oh Krishna, Krishna, where are you? Without you, we'll die. On the other hand, Prabhupada Saraswati has written in Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, why should the gopis cry and weep for Krishna? Krishna should weep, rolling down on the earth and lamenting, oh Srimati Radhika, where are you? I'm dying without you. Like in Vrindavan, there was a very popular song. Radha ढूंढ रही किसी ने मेरा श्याम देखा घन श्याम देखा घन श्याम देखा राधा तेरा श्याम हमने जमुना जी में देखा राधा तेरा श्याम हमने वृंदावन में देखा गैया चराते हुए राधा तेरा श्याम देखा राधा ढूंढ रही किसी ने मेरा श्याम देखा. Okay, that is fine. Let Radharani search for Krishna, but we don't want Radharani searching for Krishna, but we want Krishna searching for Radharani. Where is my Radha? Where is my Radha? I am dying without you. Oh Radha, please give me mercy. We want that sentiment. So this is the highest topic given by Goswami in their books, especially in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Gopal Bhatta learned all these topics from Prabhupada Saraswati, and therefore Prabhupada Saraswati is his Guru Padma, Guru. You can imagine how beautiful and how rasic, how full of transcendental emotions and learned was Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So Purvananda Saraswati was actually incarnation of Vidya Sakhi, one of the Ashtasakhi of Radharani. So and Gopal Bhatta Goswami himself, I think, Manjari. So he is also. So after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Srirangam, Gopal Bhatta became mad to meet with him and to serve him. But Mahaprabhu told him, you should serve your father because he is not only your father, but he is your guru. All three brothers were acharyas in the Ramanu Sampradaya. All three greatly made and all three trained Gopal Bhatta. Thus his father was a Shiksha Guru. So understand. So basically, you see, Raghunatha Swami left his family, his father. Mahaprabhu told him, good that you come out of this stool pit in a latrine. Because your father is not Vaishnava, but Vaishnava Praj. He appears like a Vaishnava, but actually he is not a Vaishnava. He is only a semblance of a Vaishnava. But the parents of Gopal Bhatta Goswami were pure Vaishnavas. And therefore they were a Shiksha Guru. They had educated him. So therefore Mahaprabhu forbade him to leave them. As long as they are alive, don't come to Vrindavan. Only when they are left, you should come. So Mahaprabhu, you should serve him. But after that, you should come to your elder brothers Rupa and Raghunath in Vrindavan and remain with them. But after some time, you should come to your elder brothers Rupa and Raghunath. Understand? In Vrindavan. After the disappearance of Venkat Bhatta, Prabhupada Saraswati left his home and came to Vrindavan. He lived in Kamyavan and all the 12 forests of Vrindavan. In a separation mood, he used to call out, oh, where is Srimati Radhika? Lita, Vishakha, where are they? He was always whipping and ruling down on the earth. So when Venkat Bhatta left the world, Prabhupada Saraswati came to Vrindavan and he was calling out, oh Radhe, oh Krishna, oh Lalita, oh Vishakha. So Gopal Bhatta thought about where he himself should live and how to attain Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. So he also left. He wanted to go to Puri, but he could not go because Mahaprabhu had ordered him to stay home and look after his parents. After they would leave the Puri, he should go to Vrindavan. The lotus feet of Srila Sanatana Goswami and Srila Rupa Goswami. He wanted to go to Puri because he wanted to meet Mahaprabhu there, but Mahaprabhu had told him, go to Vrindavan and be under the guidance of Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. So he came to Vrindavan. He was now searching how to reach Vrindavan. On his journey, he went to the Himalayas where the Gomati river flows. As he was bathing in the river, he saw that a large shaligram was following him. Large shaligram, big shaligram was following Gopal Bhatta Goswami. It was automatically coming and it seemed to be telling him, I will take your service. Please serve me. Now you see, shaligram is following him. Devotees go from search everywhere. Length and breadth of the earth to find the shaligram. But here shaligram is following Gopal Bhatta Goswami. He wants to accept the service. Bhagwan is trying, I want to take his service. Shaligram Bhagwan is trying to take his seva. So shaligram is Bhagwan himself. Understand? So he therefore picked up the shaligram in his arms and sometimes keeping him on his head. Sometimes on his eyes, he'll put shaligram on his eyes. And sometimes he would on his heart. He took the shaligram to Vrindavan, where he met Rupa and Sanatan. Rupa and Sanatan now embraced this very pure Rasika Vaishnava, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. In the meantime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared from this world. Understand? So in Vrindavan, one day Gopal Bhatta Goswami went to Radha Raman Dhera, near to Seva Kunj in the area of Madhurya, a very sacred and very secret place of Radha and Krishna. Then he began to think, how can I serve this shaligram? He wanted to see the Lord's eyes, face, arms. His threefold bending and his lotus feet. He wanted to decorate him at the time of Julan, the swing festival. During the night, he was so much worried, thinking, how can I serve him? If he would have a very beautiful threefold bending form and a smiling face with flute, this would be very, very good for rendering service to him. Then at midnight, the shaligram spoke to him, O Gopal Bhatta, just see how beautiful I am. Gopal Bhatta got up and went to the the deity and he saw how beautiful Radharaman. He had the face of Govinda, the chest of Gopinath, and the feet of Madan Mohan. So Govinda, Gopinath, and Madan Mohan appeared to him, three in one in Radharaman. Gopal Bhatta Goswami was so delighted to see this. He called all the Goswamis, who became amazed, thinking how glorious his bhakti was that the telegram had changed into Radharaman. You can imagine what a first class Vaishnava was. He was not only a Vaishnava, but a very dear and near to the divine couple, Shri Radha and Krishna. He is Gunamanjari in Krishna's pastimes. By his prayers, the Shalagram became Radharaman. He was not only a Bhav and Rasik Bhakta, but as I mentioned before, he was very learned. He was vastly learned. He had all the Vedas and all of the scriptures of Ramanuja in his throat. And this is because previous to his hearing from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his youth, he was a follower of the Ramanuja Sampradaya and had been well trained by his father and uncle. Srila Sanatana Goswami told him some rules and regulations according to Vaishnava etiquette by which one can be eligible to worship Radha and Krishna or any Vishnu Tattva deity. How to take sannyas, how to take diksha, how to take mantra, what are the qualifications of a disciple, and what are the qualifications of guru. It is not that everyone can be guru, neither can everyone be a disciple. Only those who are detached from worldly desire and self-gratification, those who are learned in all the Vedas and Vaishnava scriptures, and those who have some realization of service to both Radha and Krishna can be guru, regardless of caste or creed. Kiva vipra kiva nyasi shudra kene noy guru hoy. If anyone knows Krishna, the science of Krishna, he is guru. Those who know who is Krishna, who is Srimati Radhika, who they are themselves, what is the service of Radha Krishna, and who is loving them, performing prema seva, not only worship, they are Guru. Those who are doing less than 1,64 rounds of Harinam daily and who have controlled Krishna, those who are doing not less than 1,64 rounds of Harinam daily and who have controlled Krishna in their hearts, they are Guru. This is very clear told here. Guru means he must be chanting 64 rounds, not less than that. He is so lucky. We are lucky that we are direct disciples of our Guruji, who was a direct disciple of Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Saraswati Thakur. And also those who are disciples of Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj are so lucky. To have a qualified Guru is a great fortune. Gopal Bhatta wrote a book with all such directives. It was called Hari Bhakti Vilas. The title of this book has a beautiful, wonderful meaning. Hari Bhakti Vilas. In the first bloom of youth, Krishna is always relishing prema. He is always enjoying loving pastimes, vilas, Bhakti Vilas. Hari means Krishna who takes the heart of Srimati Radhika, and he is Hari who is always dancing and singing in the heart of Srimati Radhika, and the Gopi is Hari. At first, Sanatana Goswami gave him some points, based on which he collected all the proofs of scriptures such as the Puranas and Nigamas and Agama and presented in his manuscripts to Sanatana Goswami. Srila Sanatana Goswami guided him in selecting those scriptural references that were in accordance with Mahaprabhu's teachings. And then Gopal Bhatta Goswami further required his work and compiled Hari Bhakti Vilas. Some people are in doubt as to whether this book is written by Sanatana Goswami or by Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Actually, the book was manifested by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both their hearts. He gave them both the inspiration to write it. In this, Gopal Bhatta Goswami wrote Hari Bhakti Vilas, Satya Satipika, lamplight of the essence of rituals to be performed by devotees, and assisted in the publication of Srila Jiva Goswami's Sat Sandarbha. He also wrote a commentary on Srila Bilungal Thakur's Sri Krishna Karana. We should try to follow his guidelines on how to establish temples and install deities. How to use Diksha and Mantra. The names of the various aspects of initiation are not actually called first initiation, second initiation, and third initiation. There is only one initiation which comes first as Harinam, then as Diksha. Out of causeless Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Maharaj has made easy grammar to this, and therefore he gave the nomenclature first initiation. The process of Diksha is one in order to make one's Harinam more bona fide. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. We have discussed some glories of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Vanchadalpatarasya Kripa Sindhu Jagatan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Alright, devotees. Anyone who is taking shelter of Shri Radha Krishna and pure Vaishnava should not worship demigods. Rather, they should worship and serve Rupa and Sanatan, Yamuna, Govardhan, Radha Kund, Shankund, Vrinda Devi, Lita, and they should avoid even the worship of Rukmini Ramana, Satyabhama Ramana, and Madhesh Krishna. Otherwise, they will not develop qualification to enter Krishna's Vrindavan. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami has explained how to follow all these principles. Marriage ceremony should be performed according to Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami Satkriya Sar Deepika, not worshipping Ganesh and other such deities. His book also explains everything regarding how departed Vaishnava Sannyasi should be given samadhi, and he also clearly explained the 10 sanskaras, reformatory processes. We are very fortunate to come in the line of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. We are indebted to him, and so Srila Sanat Goswami and Srila Goswami. Vanchakal Padukasya Kripas Anam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha. Dada Pranams. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.